Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Christopher with Plan Your Adventures, and in today's video we are continuing our Walt Disney World planning series. In the series we've already talked about some overview stuff and narrowing down your resort choice. But now let's talk about your overall package. We're going to, in this video, dive into how many days of tickets would be right for your vacation, what each park offers to kind of help you make that decision. We're also going to talk briefly about some of the add-on options like Park Hopper, a little bit about dining plan, memory maker, travel protection, etc. We're going to help build the vacation package. This is the final step that we really need to begin to look at before we go ahead and actually make the reservation. So if you're interested in that, definitely stay tuned. So, what is a Disney vacation package? Typically, it's going to start with your resort and your tickets. So we already talked about what resort in the last video. You can check that out. It'll be linked for you in the playlist. Now today we're talking about your ticket portion. How many days is a decision you need to make? And then also, are we doing a base ticket or a park hopper? So that is typically the start of a vacation package. Now, if you don't need tickets, if you have an annual pass, or maybe you just want to do a resort only kind of stay, we can still make a package for you. So even if you don't have the tickets included, we could still add on these add-ons and things. Just reach out to me and we can talk about that one-on-one. But typically a vacation package is resort stay and your tickets, and then the other add-ons if you choose to do that. So in terms of the number of days of tickets, that's where I really want to start this conversation. It's going to depend on a couple of things. Number one, how long you can actually be on the trip, which we talked about in the resort stay. That's going to determine by your budget a little bit, by your schedule, like how long can you be away, how long can you afford to be on this trip. So that's going to be a factor. Obviously, if you're staying for 7 nights, my answer for how many park days you need is different than if you're staying for 3 or 4 nights. So, but as an overview, really that base level is 4 days in the park. To really feel like you can do a Walt Disney World vacation, 4 park days is really the minimum. I do plan trips for clients that are 3 days. We can make that happen. And you could also choose to do 2 days. If you do 1 day, it's not a package and it's a whole different situation. But 2 days is the minimum you need to book a package. 2 days is just, you're not gonna do all the parks. But maybe if you only wanted to do Magic Kingdom and like one other park, that could work for you. The base I recommend is 4 days. Now, of course, if you are just able to get away for a long weekend and you're staying for like 2 nights at the hotel, then maybe you can only do 2 days and we will make that work for you. So of course, if those factors, depending on how long you'll be there, you could choose to do less. But let's say you have a week of vacation, right? You're coming for 5, 6, 7, even longer. The longest trip I've planned was like 14 nights, I think. Dream. That would be a dream, wouldn't it? So let's say you have that's not the issue. Time is not the issue. Budget may still be a concern, but we have the time. 4 day is that base that I recommend. If you're there for longer, I would say if you're there for like 7 nights, even 6 nights, we could look at adding a 5th or 6th park day as well. Of course, we can add on as many as you'd like. The most that I can add to a package is a 10-day ticket. And so the more days you're there, the cheaper it actually gets. So if you're looking at like a 6-day ticket versus like a 7-day ticket, it's going to add on just a little bit. So sometimes when you have those longer trips, people like to just keep adding on days because it's like, oh, what's another $10, The longer you're there, the more time you're going to have to just enjoy the park. If you're somebody that doesn't like to run from thing to thing to thing and just kind of soak in the experience, then I always do recommend more days for that. 4 days, did I say 4 days? I recommend more days for that. Like I said, 4 days is the base because there are 4 main parks. So that gives you like an average of a day in each park. But that you're kind of hustling to get those parks done. The other huge factor in this is I always recommend at least one resort day, depending on how long your stay is. Now, if you're only staying for 2 nights, maybe a full resort day is not possible. But if you're staying for 4 or more nights, I would recommend doing a resort day. Walking around the parks is a lot. You're taking more steps than you do by far. I do like 5 times the amount of steps when I'm doing a full Disney day. Your body will need a break after even a day or 2. So I love a resort day to break up your trip. So the dream trip, let's say you have a week, right? We're doing 7 nights in the hotel. Let's say a Sunday to a Sunday. So if I was checking in on a Sunday, my recommendation would be Monday, Tuesday, park days. Wednesday, resort day, no park. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have 3 days left. I would probably do, in this scenario, either a 4 or 5 day park ticket and either do a second resort day. So on like that day 5 or day 6, I would do a second resort day. Or I would just take it easy. Like I would do like half of a resort day and then go to the park in the evening. That's my dream trip, is doing a week with, I would say, a 5-day ticket to have that flexibility. Because that would give you your check-in, check-out day without a ticket, and then 1 or 2 days in the middle there for a resort day. Now, when I say resort day, you don't have to stay at your resort. You could actually be park hopping or resort hopping to other resorts to check those out. You could go to Disney Springs. If you're coming from out of the country, a lot of people like to go to like Target and the outlets and stuff like that too. So the world is your oyster. But taking a break from the hustle and bustle of the parks is important. Of course, if you're here for a long weekend or just 3 or 4 days and you want to maximize the time, this is an optional thing. So then we would just book all of your days as park tickets. Another thing that can help in this factor of how many park days is actually looking at the parks. Like, how long do you think you need in each park? So I want to talk just an overview of what each park offers and my recommendation for how many days. So let's start with the Mamma Jamma Magic Kingdom. This is the classic Disney park. When you think of Disney World, you're thinking of Magic Kingdom. It's the main park with the castle. You have Main Street USA, you have Cinderella's castle, you have the big fireworks show, Happily Ever After, and then there's different lands around that. So you have things like Tomorrowland and Fantasyland and Adventureland and Frontierland, etc. Lots of rides in Magic Kingdom. It's the park with the most attractions. It's actually, like, size-wise, it's not the biggest park. It feels like it when you're walking back and forth. But there's a lot to do in Magic Kingdom, from thrill attractions to shows and entertainment and characters to family-friendly rides. Anybody can easily fill a full day of Magic Kingdom. And if you have the extra time, this is the park that you typically would add like a second day to, or even a third day to. There's so much to do here that whatever extra time you have, you want to put it into Magic Kingdom. I have some clients, even if they're doing a 4-day ticket, they'll get a park hopper, which we'll talk about in a little bit, so that they can have a day and a half at Magic Kingdom. They'll do like a half day at Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios and then hop to Magic Kingdom because you want all the Magic Kingdom time you can get. So that's Magic Kingdom. Everybody will have stuff there, whether you're looking for thrill rides or family-friendly stuff or characters and meeting Mickey and shows or fireworks. That's the big draw there too. Next, let's go to Epcot. Epcot is an interesting one. I feel like a lot of people have an idea of Epcot. Maybe it's from their childhood, from years and years ago. A lot of people think that it's like a boring and educational park not for kids. A lot has changed. So Epcot is where you're going to find the World Showcase, so you can walk around the world. There's lots of different countries and pavilions that you can explore. In that area, I would say it is a little bit educational to kind of see the different cultures. There's shopping, there's dining. There are a couple of attractions as well. So in France, there's the Ratatouille ride. In Norway, there is the Frozen ride. And then in Mexico, there's Grand Fiesta Tour. There are also some shows, some that are fun, like Beauty and the Beast sing-along for the kids, some more educational, like learning about Canada or China. So yes, there is an educational aspect to this area, of course. There's also a ton of princesses. So people that have kids that are like, oh, I don't want to go to Epcot, but maybe their daughter loves princesses, Epcot may actually be her favorite park, to be honest. There's a ton of princesses that meet in their different countries. There's a princess character dining experience in Epcot. Lots of great entertainment. So it's a really fun park. There are also other attractions at the front of the park that are family friendly, and even a couple thrill rides. So Epcot's where you're going to find Soarin'. That's a really popular one. Guardians of the Galaxy is the big thrill attraction in this park for thrill seekers. That's one you don't want to miss. Test Track is where you're like in a car, so that has a little bit of thrill to it. So there is a little bit of something for everybody at Epcot. One of the biggest draws of Epcot are the festivals as well. So this has the most food and drink experience. You can kind of eat or drink your way around the world and taste those different cuisines. So take that for what you will. Yes, adults love Epcot because of the food, the culture, the World Showcase. But families also, there's a lot for your kids there as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay, next let's go to Hollywood Studios. Oh, time-wise, Epcot, it just depends. If you want to eat your way or drink around the world and do all of the things, a day is typically good for that. If you really want to dive into the culture and stuff, a day and a half or 2 days is possible. If you're just there for the attractions and maybe some princesses, I would say most of a day, like half a day to a full day is plenty for that. Hollywood Studios. So this part, and when I'm doing those day comparisons, this is thinking if you have like a 4 or 5 day ticket. Obviously, if you have an 8-day ticket, go to each park 2 days or one park 3 days and one park a day and a half. Like you can milk it. Listen, I've been in Magic Kingdom 53 times. Not really, but like maybe. There's still things I haven't done, so trust me. But this is going off of a 4 or 5 day ticket. Hollywood Studios there's a lot of thrill rides here. So thrill ride lovers, this is a huge park for you. You have Tower of Terror, you have Rock and Roller Coaster, lots of like big thrill stuff. Of course, based on dependent on refurbishments and stuff, rides that close for refurbishment. This is also, though, where you'll find Toy Story Land. So if you have little ones that love Pixar and Toy Story, there's some really cute attractions and areas there. This is also where you'll find Star Wars stuff. So we have a couple different Star Wars attractions and a really immersive land there. One of my favorite attractions is right in the middle of the park, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That is a family-friendly attraction. So if you don't have thrill seekers, there are a couple family-friendly attractions, like in Toy Story and that Mickey and Minnie's situation. But Hollywood Studios has, I don't know this for a fact, but I want to say the most shows. There are so many shows. There's an Indiana Jones stunt show. There's a villain stage show, Little Mermaid stage show, Beauty and the Beast stage show, Frozen sing-along. There are so many shows at Hollywood Studios. So you could fill a day easily, even if you don't go on a single thrill ride. You definitely could with all of the shows and things like that. So Hollywood Studios, for most people, I would say is a full day park. Of course, there's going to be people that maybe don't love shows and also don't love thrill rides. So then for you, maybe it is a half day park. It depends on lots of things. If you're my client, if you book your trip with me, I can answer all those questions and specify these answers just for you. And finally, we have Animal Kingdom. This park, for most people, I would say, is a half day to a full day. If you have animal lovers, though, full day, because there's so many animal trails and the safari. But even if you have people that are not necessarily like super into a zoo kind of vibe, You have the world of Pandora and Avatar. Really beautiful, immersive. There's 2 attractions over there. There's a couple stage shows, Festival of the Lion King, little Finding Nemo, lots of other stuff there as well, and characters. So there is plenty for everybody. There's even Everest, so a thrill attraction. There's a lot of new stuff coming to Animal Kingdom where Dinosaur used to be in Dino Land. So that's just like overviews of what's there, and maybe will help you. Okay, as you're watching this, I want a day and a half at Magic Kingdom, I want a day at Epcot, I want a day at Hollywood Studios, and a half a day at Animal Kingdom. What does that add up to, right? You can kind of get the ball rolling. I think more time is always better than less, because maybe you don't then need to do park open to park close. You can do like an 8-hour park day and then go enjoy your resort or get a nice sit-down dining experience, right? That's our overview of the parks and how many days of tickets, right? So now let's talk about some of those add-ons. Number 1 is Park Hopper. If you want to be able to park hop between parks, so do like a half a day at Animal Kingdom and then hop to Magic Kingdom in the evening, that is an add-on. So you would be getting a Park Hopper ticket. Another really popular add-on that I always recommend is Memory Maker. This is PhotoPass. So all over all of the parks, and even some of the resorts and Disney Springs and stuff, you're gonna find PhotoPass photographers that have fancy cameras, and they will take photos of you and your family. It's really great for the mom or the parent that is usually the one taking the photos and not in them, because now you can all be in together. You have a quality photo experience. And they also have magic shots, which means you could be like on Main Street with the castle behind you, put your hands out like this, and they'll add Tinkerbell, or they'll add balloons. You're holding balloons, or a character on the floor. Those are really cool. Also, on some of the attractions, there'll be a photo that is taken of you, of your cart, and PhotoPass includes those photo downloads as well. It's not expensive. We're talking under $200 for your entire length of stay, and you, right in your phone app, you download the photos to your phone. Very easy. I always recommend it. Another optional add-on is travel protection. I would say most destinations offer their own travel protection. You may also look into third-party travel protection, or maybe your credit card offers travel protection. Legally speaking, it is something that I always offer to my clients, just so that they're aware that there are options for them. However, I can't speak on those companies' behalf. So if you're ever interested in learning more about what specific travel protection, what's covered in the different travel protections, I can send you the link right to that company. So Disney does offer a travel protection that we can add right onto your package, and it just makes it convenient if you were looking for travel protection for that flexibility or safety net there. I should also, going back quickly to the Park Hopper, there is also an add-on. It's the Park Hopper Plus. So if you want access to the Disney water parks, which we didn't even talk about those, and then there's other things that includes like mini golf and ESPN and stuff like that. That's even higher than the Park Hopper. There's like a Park Hopper Plus option that would give you a little bit more flexibility. If you had extra days, maybe if you did have 6 days and you wanted to go to a water park, that could be a good option for you as well. So again, circling back to that why a vacation package, even without trying, you're probably going to book a vacation package to Walt Disney World. But there are perks. The biggest perk is it's a $200 deposit, and the rest of the money is due 30 days before your trip. So that $200 deposit is fully refundable up until 30 days before your trip. So even if you're just thinking about doing a Disney trip in 2026, let's lock something in. Let's book something with the pricing and availability wide open right now for the end of 2026, right? Let's book something for you. Let's hold it with that $200 deposit, and you can start making payment plans, right? Start making payments. My clients really appreciate that, because it's like every paycheck they can pay a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, whatever. It's very convenient. You also, currently, with a vacation package, also get free access to a Disney water park on your check-in day. That's huge. So you don't need the Park Hopper Plus option. On your check-in day, you have free access to one of the Disney water parks. So that's another benefit of a vacation package. The other add-on that we haven't talked about is the Disney dining plan. I'm gonna do an entire video just on the Disney dining plan. So let's not get into the nitty-gritty of that. But in general, it is a way to prepay for dining credits. I really like it for that all-inclusive feeling while you're on your trip. You're not paying for these meals, they're prepaid. You can pre-budget for them, etc. So I'll do a whole separate video on that. If this video is stressing you out and you're like, Christopher, I have no idea what add-ons. Work with me. I will help you decide what add-ons are best for your family. But also, you don't have to make all these decisions right away. All I need, the info I need to book a package at first is your dates, right? We can solidify dates, solidify your resort, and add a number of park days. All of that, though, is flexible. I can change your dates, I can change your resort, I can change the number of days of tickets if you change your mind. But all these add-ons can be added at a later time. So if you're like, oh, I'm not sure about Memory Maker or travel protection, or if I want a Park Hopper, that's okay. Let's book it without it or book it with it, and we can always change our mind down the road. So don't get too stressed out. I will help you in every step of the way as we plan your trip and decide what's best for you. Like I said, I am a travel planner and it's totally free. If you go right now on Disney, you'll get the same price as if you booked with me. But when you book with me, there's a lot of resources I'll provide, a lot of services I'll provide. I'll book your dining for you at 6 a.m. so you don't have to. I'll answer all of your questions and park strategy plans. And you're helping support my small business. So I really appreciate that. And I love doing it. I'm really passionate about planning magical vacations. So I'm excited about this series. I hope you're learning a little bit more about what goes into planning a Disney vacation. And again, don't forget, if you don't want to do any of this work and you're like, all of this is over your head, I'll do it all for you. Just let me know what your vibe is, what you're interested in, and I will help plan every step of the way for you. But that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see all of the other videos in this series, because there's a lot of them, hit that subscribe button and check out that playlist. And I will see y'all real soon. Thanks so much for watching.